Fred here, welcome back to the Gear Obsession channel. In this episode we will be taking a look at a Kayfun clone from FastTech, so stay tuned. Okay, this thing is probably supposed to be, or at least the original, should be like over $100 or whatever. This clone, by the way, it does have the Semesto logo on it, which I think is pretty messed up, but you know, what can you do? It is what it is, and I hate that term, but I don't like when they do that. I would have preferred that they didn't, but you know, I'll ignore it. If I ever get rich or I get a lot of money, I will buy the originals, but I can't afford $100 or $200 rebuildable atomizer, and that's what this is. So this Semesto Kayfun 3.1 clone only cost me like $22 at FastTech. So here's what it looks like, and I'm going to break this down once we go ahead and switch camera views to the up and close. But I'm going to go ahead and put this on my SVD, which I had done a review on a while back, and look how awesome that looks. Let's start with what you get. It all comes in this plastic bag. It doesn't come in any kind of fancy package, but you get the actual tank here. They give you a wick that already has coils around it. It looks like it has about 6 coils around 2 wicks. So again, this is for advanced users. It doesn't come with the coil and the wick's already in there. So you need to know what you're doing before you really, you know, start working with this kind of stuff. You also get a metal insert into the tank portion, because you can see how this is clear here. Well, you could replace that with this stainless steel. You won't be able to see in there, but it would give it a nice look. And here's another extra part. And what this does is allows you to remove this, and I'll just show you because I got to start disassembling this. So we'll just go ahead and take the tip off. And what you could do is put this on here, and then you could put your favorite drip tip right on there. So what I want to do is go ahead and just disassemble this so you can see all the parts real quick. Next we'll take off the top. See, there's a gasket there. Then we have the tank portion. Now I'm not going to take apart these 3 parts, and you don't really need to take these apart when you work on this, unless you want to replace the clear with the metal. So you get the tank, and then you get the, I don't know what they call the top here. You know, I was watching videos, listening to different people describe this particular tank a million times, and then the next day I've already forgotten what they call this. You know, it's just a stack. I don't know, the smokestack we'll call it. And then this here, and finally we get down to the screws, where you would go ahead and put your coil and your wick. Now we could take apart this even further, since this is the it's not the light version, it's the, I think it's the 3 plus or 3.1 version. Oh, I forgot. Before you take this apart, you got to take this screw out here. Your 510 little post in there in the 510 mount. So go ahead and take that off. Might as well just take it out so you can see what that looks like. And we'll open this up. If you notice, there is no gasket on this, probably because it gets hot. Nothing much in this particular version. I know in some other versions there's a screw in here so you could do your filling, but this one has the fill hole or fill valve right there. And then you have your air hole here. That's where, when you're sucking on this thing, that's where the air goes in. And you have a screw here which will restrict the airflow coming into there, so it's adjustable, so you could adjust your airflow. And you can see there's another gasket right there, or O-ring, or whatever you want to call it. And you can see you have two posts basically that are, you have that slit right there, so it prevents your positive and negative from touching each other. You can also see there's an insulator under this set that has the air hole in this post. And if you get this really hot, I heard that you could actually melt that insulator, so you don't need to get this so hot that you would melt that, because if you did that, you just got to buy a new tank, because this is like the heart of the tank right here, so you're not going to be able to buy this piece separately. Now we're going to go ahead and install the wicked wire that came with this. I'm zoomed all the way out here, so I'm going to zoom in so you get an idea of how small everything is. Let's see, I want to try to keep this in focus. There we go. So everything is really tiny here, so you have to be able to, work on very fine things here. So the first thing you got to do is go loosen up these two screws. Probably or not. Next, you can see how the coils come off this side of the wick, so I'm going to have this down. This way the coil is raised up over the air hole that's right there in the middle. When you suck, the air is coming through here. You want that to pass over the heating coil so you can suck in the vapor. Alright, there we go. We'll get one. Then I'll go ahead and wrap this one on this side, around this one, and we'll straighten everything up after. I'm sure it's possible to get everything straightened up. I might have to loosen this one up a little bit. Alright, there we go. Now once you get everything where you know you want it, and you want to make sure that that coil is raised up a little bit, so we'll raise that up. You still got these metal pieces of the cathode wire sticking out there, so you just sort of twist them back and forth until they break off. There's one. And make sure you throw this somewhere where it's just not gonna like sit around and then fall off your table, and then your dog or cat will eat it, and then, or kid, because this thing can stick in your finger or in a pet's throat and cause a lot of damage. And you can see that I have it raised up over the air hole there just a bit. It's kind of hard to see, everything's so tiny. So on these Kayfuns, you can see there's a channel right there. It starts here and runs up on this platform here. Channel right there, and runs up. When you suck, it creates a vacuum and the juice goes up these channels, and you want your wicks laying pretty close to where those channels are. So what you do is you take your stack here and you just push your wicks. You have to bend your wicks up here and get them up into the stack. This is the first time I'm doing this too, so you can see how an amateur is doing this. And it's twice as hard doing it on camera because I would normally not be holding it in such an awkward position. Just get all these bunched up here so you can get it in. It's tough. I might have to do this off camera because it's just so awkward. I'm going to go ahead and put my hand through the bottom of the tripod here. And see if I can do it this way. Alright. Make sure I'm on camera. And we'll get that up there. There we go. Alright. And I still didn't get them all in. So what I'm going to do is I'll be right back. I'm going to have to do this off of camera. Now before we push these down, you want to go ahead and cut these wicks that are sticking up to about 1/4 of an inch beyond the metal. So sort of like about there. And also before pushing these down, it's probably a good idea to wet the wicks with some e-juice. I'm going to be trying this new Kiln House smoke juice. It's a new line of juice that came from Johnson Creek. It's supposed to be more flavorful and be for the, it's sort of like the fine wine of juices, I guess, as they're sort of marketing it as. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and wet these wicks, and that'll help probably get these wicks to hold together so I can sort of tuck them down in there a lot easier. So let me go ahead and start getting these tucked in, and then I'll show you what it looks like once that's all done. Getting the wicks down into the sides, getting the wicks tucked down into the sides on each side probably took me a good 10 minutes. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to check to make sure I have no weird shorts or anything going on. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on a ohm meter. So I'm going to go ahead and put the base back on. It's a lot easier to do this with that base off, so you don't have to worry about trying to balance it on that connector there. So I should use a screwdriver for this, but I'm just going to use my fingernail to get the little contact. I guess that's the positive side there. And then we'll go ahead and get a ohm meter, which I happen to have right here. I also got this at FastTech. As you can see there, it's a rechargeable. I think it was around 20 bucks. After all that, that's something within a usable range. We'll go ahead and put the top of the stack on there, button that up, make it nice and tight. So it looks like that. Then we'll go ahead and put our tank sleeve, lack of a better term, on there. Remember, you got a gasket here. So we'll go ahead and put that on there. And the threads are reasonably good for a Chinese-made clone. Not too bad at all. And then we'll go ahead and... Whoops, where's the... Oopsie. I don't know where I put my top. Oh, is this it? Yeah, this is the top here. And... see, this will be the stack. Now I'm going to go ahead and leave this loose because I think I'm going to do the trick where you put the juice in and turn it over. We'll go ahead and shaky, 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 shaky. Go ahead and grab a bunch of this, and you're supposed to cover the air hole, wherever the air hole is. There it is. And then fill this up, because if you don't, you can flood the smokestack area there, the smoke cylinder, whatever you want to call it. So you sort of do all that, fill it up, and I guess you don't want to go too crazy. I'm just going to fill it up to where the threads are and stop there. And I'm going to put this safely aside, because if I spill that, I'm going to be really upset. And what you're supposed to do is put this on here and just give it a slight screw so the threads just catch. But you don't want to do anything that's going to force any air. You don't want that gasket to start pushing down on fluid until you get it turned over. Take your finger off the air hole and then screw it in. You got all that? Alright, and hopefully I didn't flood anything. So you can see the juice in there. So, let's see how this vapes. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and put this on top of my SVD. Looks pretty good. and let's see how it tastes. Wow, that really tastes awesome, but it's kind of airy, so I need to adjust the airflow. By the way, my keys here, these little eyeglass things, they're a lifesaver. So we'll go ahead to this airflow control here and try to close up that airflow just a little bit. Go ahead and adjust that. Alright. Get that. Okay, I got a big giant mess here. This is definitely not for starters. This is for advanced people, which I shouldn't even be attempting this stuff on a rebuildable tank like this, but I just couldn't resist. For the price, what was it, 20? Let me see, at FastTech. This was the Kayfun version 3.1 plus, and you know, for a little over $20 is an incredible buy. It's a copy of, I think it's called the Russian, that's made in Germany. It usually costs like $200. Of course, this is not the same quality, but definitely worth over $20. And the I don't know if it's the juice that's making this taste so good. Again, Johnson Creek Killhold. This is the Gold Reserve. Holy crap, that's some good e-juice or smoke juice. It is good. I tell you what, just sit back and watch me enjoy this, because mm, mm, mm. That is a serious cloud. I don't think anything I have produces vapor like this, and the flavor is incredible. Now there is one kind of annoying thing about this. It sort of has a whistle to it. I'm going to let you hear this. even when I have the air hole, the adjustment to be wide open, it still has this whistle to it. I can live with it. I can absolutely live with it. Man. Like disappearing behind a cloud. My whole room is a cloud. It's like I died and went to heaven. I like it. I'll tell you, it is a vapor producing machine. It looks really, really good on top of this SVD. It's like it's almost made for it. And I love the SVD. It's just a rock solid, you know, variable watt or variable voltage mod. And to put this on the top, and you got the whole complete package. So, and again, I got this all at FastTech. The SVD was, I think it was around $45, $46, and then of course this guy for 21 bucks. And it altogether, I think it's a package that's extremely hard to beat. As far as vapor production flavor, it's kind of you know, it's not a cold vape, it's not a extremely hot vape, but it's a warm vape, and I guess that's because the heating coil is raised up on that platform, so it ends up sort of halfway. It might be one of the first tanks that I have where it's sort of in between, so you're getting sort of the best of both worlds. I don't know, where it's sort of bottom feeding, but that coil is up on that platform in the middle, and it really just helps bring that taste closer to your mouth, and it brings a little bit of the warmth up there. Where are you? I can't even see you. I'm a fan. Do I recommend this? I definitely highly recommend it. Now I had there's some issues. Again, the kind of a whistle. The other thing is that the adjustment screw for the airflow, I screwed that all the way in, and I finally got a nice tight, very tight. If someone likes a really tight airflow, it you might kill it, because I got it screwed in where I think it went so far in it actually went past all the threads, and I had a very hard time backing the screw back out and catching the threads and have it come back out. So be careful not to screw it in too far. I guess they didn't make the screw long enough to be able to sort of act as a plunger into to constrict the airflow. So be very mindful of that. Just but I backed it off, and I think I got the airflow that I like, because there's two ways to vape. One way is the big lung kind of vape, where you just go and then you have the mouth vapor. I like the mouth vape, where you suck some in your mouth and then breathe it in and then blow it out. And I also like to like take a priming puff. You'll see it come out of my nose, so I get that flavor through my nose and then in my mouth, and then suck it down into the lungs. So you get more of an experience, because a lot of your taste is your smell. So I feel like I'm getting more out of my vape by So, you know, everything, all the surface areas behind my face are getting the experience of whatever that flavor is, then just sucking it down your lungs. So this definitely has exceeded 15 minutes. I realize that. But there's a lot to learn in the vaping world, and I'm still learning every day. I watch a lot of videos every day on these guys, and I think it's just important to really sit down, spend some extra time, and sort of share my experiences with these new products. And I'm still new to vaping. You know, I haven't been vaping more than a year, so I still considered a newbie. But and it's also as good as a reference video, so I can sort of go back every now and then and take a look where I was in the first year and see how things developed over the years. So I'm going to give this, I'll tell you, if this were like $30, $40, $50, I'd probably give it about an 8 out of 10 because of that little funky screw thing and the whistle. But because it's so cheap, you know, like 21 bucks, I am going to give it a 9 out of 10 because the screw is where it's going to be for the airflow. I'm just not going to listen to the thing make the noise because I'm going to be enjoying my vape. So a 9 out of 10, highly, highly recommended. Got it at FastTech. If you get it at FastTech, do not buy batteries from them. Do not buy juice from them, because they could get caught up at the airport and post office because of all these new rules. And the other thing you got to understand about FastTech, because they are in China, airports and post offices in China, the Singapore and Hong Kong airports and post offices are not the most smoothest running machines out there. And it can take you up to 2 months to get your stuff from them. Like this tank took about a month and a half. So really what you got to do is just order it and then forget it. Just forget it. And don't order a very expensive whole bunch of stuff. Just order little things here and there from them. Order it, forget it, and then when it arrives in your post office box or in your mailbox, it's sort of like a surprise. And what a surprise this one was. So thank you very much for joining me here at the Gear Obsession channel. I really appreciate every friend, viewer, subscriber, and you. And I hope you have an awesome weekend. Take care.